Welcome to Nourish. I am Michelle Fox, culinary nutritionist, health coach, and your host for this podcast. I teach busy professionals how to get more nutrition in their bodies and how to have more fun in their home kitchens. If you struggle with consistency or sometimes forget to make your needs a priority, you, my friend, are in the right place. Join me each week for inspiration to increase your energy, strengthen your mindset, manage your hormonal woes, and so much more. You have a lot on your plate, but that does not mean your nutrition should suffer. You deserve to live in a body and have a life that you love. So let's dig in. So today's episode is for you. Yes, you. We're going to be talking about tools, specifically one tool, EFT. You may have heard it. My guest has already given me the heads up. This is going to be the newest, biggest thing, kind of like yoga in the world. We are definitely going to get into that. But I already know you in my community, you need this conversation. So sit back, buckle in, lean into this conversation because I want to bring you a new tool to help release some of your tension, release some of your stress, help you get more of what you want in your life. And you know me, I keep it real. This is the real deal. Michele Santo is the real deal. Michele is an inspired energy healer and a writer. She helps women create more fulfilling relationships by asking for what they want without hurting a soul. Her YouTube videos are a portal to peace, and we'll give you the link in the bio to check out some of her amazing work. So, Michele Santo, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Michelle.
You are welcome. Oh my goodness. I have to tell you, when I saw that you were on my calendar today, I'm like, thank you, God, literally, because this has been, at the time of this recording, this week has been more stressful than usual. And so just knowing the bit that I do about you, which I don't think I've shared this with you before, like just looking at your presence, like you have a way of carrying yourself that's just very like, I got this. Like it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. And the fact that I know that you're skilled with the tapping, I am very excited to learn more to help me selfishly to relax a little bit.
That's sweet. Thank you.
Absolutely. So before we get into the tools that I know my listeners are ready to learn, I would love to invite you to play a rapid fire game with me. Are you in?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so let's start because I also know you're a fellow businesswoman. Thinking about your inbox, do you see yourself as inbox 0 or inbox 10,000?
In the middle. I try to
Ah,
get down to 0, but it's not necessary.
actually, I'm making notes because I want to talk about that piece in a moment too. That might help me relax too. Because I actually inbox 0 girl, and
Oh,
I don't know that
wow. I
it's
used to
serving
be,
me.
but I
Yeah.
absolutely cannot have, on the phone where it says like 889 emails. I can't look at that. That'll make me nauseous.
That sounds like my husband. He's similar. Great. Okay, so next, sweet, salty, or savory?
Ooh, salty.
Salty. Love it. Next question, because you are a fellow nutritionista and health coach, I would love to ask a new question that I have never asked any of my guests before, which is, I don't know if you're ready for this, put on your seatbelt. If you had to choose just one in the perfect world, no autoimmune issues, no eating issues, no health issues, but if you could only choose gluten or dairy, which one would you choose?
Oh, bread and butter all the way.
Although, does that count as both? The bread
It does.
for the gluten and the butter for the dairy?
Okay, bread.
Bread, okay. I love it. And then last but not least, would you be willing to share a childhood memory in the kitchen?
Oh, yeah, sure. It's so funny. I don't remember how old we were. My brother's 4 years younger than me and Joe. And my father had this camcorder that was literally looked like, a big shoebox. And so we would make these home videos. We called it the doggy diner.
Oh,
I don't know. We had no dog growing up. I don't know where this name came from. So we made a commercial or like a segment, before YouTube was a thing. And my brother and I were making a chocolate malted. And, we were both born in Staten Island. So I only lived there for 4 years. And then we came to New Jersey. So I had this horrible accent. Chocolate malted, pour it in, Joe. He's standing on the, the chair. I'm like pushing him out of the way. It was cute. I should find
that
it.
is adorable. Oh my goodness. Chocolate. All right. Well, I love, and actually, just to bring my listeners in a bit, before I have an interview with any of my guests, they very wonderfully fill out a form. And Michele Santo, our energy healer, on that form for the 3 topics I asked for, she said, let's talk about intuitive eating or canceling the diet culture or tapping on stressful events for a healthy body, mind, and spirit. And as I'm reading this, I'm like, yes, 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 please. So we're actually going to talk about all 3. So to begin with, to you, Michele, when I say intuitive eating, what does that mean to you?
That's such a good question because I feel that we can get caught in our mind. There's so many diet books out there and they're all a little different. And I find that they're all kind of based on what that person's journey was like. And I know, from going to school that not every one diet's going to work for everybody. It's just not possible. We're so different in so many ways, from our culture to our digestive system to our energy to our activity level. So you really have to wade through all those diet books and kind of take a little bit from each, like I like eating Mediterranean, but anti-inflammatory, but I'm not married to it. So when I say intuitive eating, I mean try to stick to a guideline of a diet that works like 80% for you. And then when you're at that party and that wedding, have fun and like say to yourself, is it okay to have the champagne? And if you don't do well with spirits, just drink a lot of water, have coffee at the end if you need it, and don't like shame yourself about it. Like I try to be gluten free and I eat less dairy and less refined sugar, but when I'm out and I'm on vacation and I want the pizza, I'll just take my digestive enzymes and call it a day. So learn to ask your body, like, what do you think? Should we have this? And just kind of ebb and flow. Like you could be super healthy, but I don't think it's healthy to be like obsessive about what you eat because you're never like, I don't like deprivation. It's just no fun.
Mm, and that kind of leads into the diet culture. I believe living in America, and I've traveled literally all over the world. So I see how a lot of American ideals have crossed over into other countries. But I do feel like it's a very American ideal to be skinny and to starve yourself and to diet by all means necessary to fit, a certain look and a certain body type. And I do believe in, the hierarchy of, the thinner you are, the quote unquote pretty you are, the more power you have. And I do not love that at all. And so I feel like I am part of this beautiful movement that's been growing louder and louder that's saying, let's look at where we are. Let's eat for our own body types. And so, yes, to your point, we do have to have that intuitive eating of listening to, okay, if I eat this, piece of candy and I know it's going to, in my population, a lot of us get hot flashes if we're either drinking the wine or eating the sugar. So it's like, if I eat this piece of candy, I know I'm going to get a hot flash. And is it worth it? And so I absolutely agree with you about eating for our body type and just leaning in and listening to what works.
Mhm.
But as far as canceling the diet culture, oh my goodness, what has your experience been around diet culture?
Well, I don't know. I find myself pretty unique because I absolutely love to eat. And, I grew up in a third generation, Italian American household. So grandma was always making food, chicken cutlets and lentil soup and rice balls and zeppelis, cannolis. I mean, we ate a ton of gluten, dairy, sugar all the time. And it was normal before I learned, how they actually affect the body. And, I wouldn't trade that upbringing for the world, but I never was on a diet really. I tried eating to lose weight. I think because I went to nutrition school, I had the confidence in what I learned that if I overindulged in the holidays, I could get the 10 pounds off. And it was kind of, it's not fun in the beginning to restrict yourself when you're used to going off the rails. However, I don't agree with the messaging that a woman's worth is her external appearance. We get so caught up in the way we look as our value. And I feel like that stunted our growth in many ways. And I don't even like the word diet because to me, it signifies things I cannot have. And I don't like when anyone tells me what to do.
That
That's
is
probably why I work for myself. So,
And that's very
anyway,
Aries as well. I will just
yeah.
put that in there for you. I noticed you shared your birthday with me. You're welcome to share it on the pod as well. I know you had a really fun and big birthday this year,
Yeah, I turned 44
but
on 4/4. So it just seemed like extra exciting and charged.
that is
But
amazing. And I didn't share with you. One of my best friends, her birthday's on 4/4 as
oh,
well. And
cool.
so she has shown me over the last almost 30 years now that Aries, once you guys make up your mind for something, it gets done.
Yeah.
And do not tell her that she cannot have something because then she will probably definitely go get that
Yeah.
something. So I don't know if you're similar in that way.
It's so funny. Yeah. And like, my heart goes out to women that got stuck in the red tape, the web of, oh, let me try Atkins and let me try low fat and let me try paleo. And it's a journey, right? We all have to weave around and see what works for us. So I think the main message is that you are worthy no matter what shape you are, and you could always improve. So no pressure, just, you'll figure it out.
Hmm. Yes, the improvement, I think, in all areas of our life. I think we often get stuck, or I'll just speak for myself. I get still stuck in my head sometimes if I fall off my nutrition. At the time of
Mhm.
this recording, I'm recently back from spring break with my kiddos, and there were not a lot of options for healthy eating, I will say, on this resort. And so I did make choices that I did not feel great about. And I came home and I was kind of like in a slump. I'm like, I've got this, extra bloat and weight. And I had to do some serious self talk to be like, Michelle, that was some downtime. We're back at it now. I have my kitchen. I went and got all the yummy vegetables that I love, and I've already been eating those now. And so, yes, to your point, it's all a process. And I just encourage us all to give ourselves more grace for sure.
Seriously.
One thing that you said, actually, two things I want to highlight with what you said with growing up with the Italian American background. In Italy, I don't know if you're aware, but Italy, right behind Germany, they are actually some of are the two countries that are in the forefront of looking at how gluten harms people, specifically because of the way wheat is farmed these days. It's not farmed in the same way that it was, when our grandparents were eating it.
Mm.
And so because the soil's been turned over so much, and because of the chemicals, actually specifically in America, that are, put on the wheat, it truly does attack our lower GI systems. And so, one, I love that you can go to Italy right now and get some gluten-free, authentic Italian noodles. Like, love that there's the option there in a lot of places. I know it's a huge country, but in a lot of places there. But two, I also like to meet people where they are. So I will never, ever shame a client or a friend. I just want people to know that there are alternatives. So it's like, yes, have your pasta, your lasagna even, but are there ways we could, add some alternatives to make it a bit healthier and easier to digest?
Mm-hmm. Do you teach cooking classes?
I do.
I could
I
say
do
I want to
actually.
get in the kitchen with you. I think it would be so fun.
Yes, come on over to michellefox.com/events and you'll see all of my options there. I'm actually cooking a lot with AARP, teaching the AARP community how to cook healthfully. And we meet every first Thursday evening. It's actually a short little plug. I wasn't planning on this, but I so appreciate you asking, because you do not need to be 50 to join us. And AARP picks up the bill, so it's complimentary for any of my guests. But yeah, we have a lot of fun in the kitchen with AARP,
That's
which will be
awesome.
throughout the year. Yeah.
Mhm. No,
Thanks for
I love
asking. I would
having
love to have you
you.
join
It's
us. So,
fun.
it has to be. Because one of the biggest complaints I get from a lot of my clients is I don't have time to cook. And I'm like, well, we can all take time for the things that matter to us. And truthfully, I really am only in the kitchen maybe 3 or 4 times a week because I'm a big proponent of eating healthy leftovers. So I definitely
Mm,
try to make food fun and also accessible for people.
that's so important.
So enough about me. My audience already knows about me. We want to know how to tap. Specifically, I will say, I use the word temptation. I wonder if there's a more graceful word I can use, but like I would love if you'd be willing to walk us through. I'm sorry, say that again.
Are you thinking about like a craving?
Thank you. Yeah, that could help us with a craving, like in the moment when, let's say, I can just think of an example of a client who, she's doing her best to make a healthy meal, and her kiddo brings home, all these homemade cookies from the baked goods sale from school. And she's like, I already know that cookie might put me in a sugar coma, but I really want it. Like, is there something we can do in that moment to maybe move through that craving without touching that cookie if we want?
You want to eat the cookie, right?
I do want to eat the
Or you
cookie.
want to avoid eating the cookie?
And I also want to avoid eating the cookie. Yes.
Okay. I'm just making notes. This is what I do. So basically, when people tell me what's triggering them, I, I literally write it down and I feed you back your own script while we tap on these acupressure points. And they're the end points of the meridians in the body. There's points here, under the arm, and on the top of the head. And so when you're stressed, like think of it like a hose. You're kinking the hose when you're mad, angry, annoyed, jealous. So when the energy can't flow because it's like stopped, your digestion will be off, your sleep will be weird, you won't be able to focus, the blood, it's the energy won't flow to the systems that you need. And you'll also feel stressed, because you're hanging on to that anger or whatever it is. But all right, well, this is great. So, what I would do is we're just going to bring awareness and compassion to what you're feeling when you see that cookie,
Hmm.
right? And
You
that's
already
all.
got me. I'm done. I'm good.
I'm done.
Compassion.
That's
Just kidding.
all
I
the
definitely
body
want to learn.
wants. All
I
the
really did
body.
not mean to apologize or interrupt you. I
Oh, it's
apologize.
okay. Go with it. Yeah, when you bring compassion and love and acceptance to what's going on, then the tension softens. It's just natural. It's like trying to
Mm.
tell a baby not to cry. It's kind of hard. You have to let it be. So, what you would do is just at the beginning of a session, we just rate how we feel on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst. So, will you be my subject?
I would be honored to be your subject.
Okay. So when you just gently close your eyes, if it's safe to close your eyes, and just take a breath in through the nose and out through your mouth. You can wiggle your toes, just trying to bring awareness to the body. So when you tune into your body, and if you want, you can put your hands on your heart or your belly to help you get there. How stressed out is this craving with this cookie on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst? What do you notice?
So I'm actually going to put myself in that place at the resort with the kiddos on spring break. And I wasn't necessarily tempted because there was gluten in it. So I wasn't tempted to grab the actual cookie, but I did have that thing like, ooh, what other kind of sugar can I eat? So for me, I'll just say the sugar piece. And so for the sugar, my craving definitely hit an 8.
Okay, beautiful. And then at the end of the session, we'll just check in with that number and see if it's changed.
Okay.
All right. So I will ask you a question. When you're craving that cookie, I'm just curious if you're craving anything else. Like, is there a sweetness in your life that might be missing? And it's okay if it's no.
Yeah. Do you want me to say it or just
If you feel
yes or no?
comfortable.
Yeah, you know, spring break with 3 children and a husband and putting all their needs ahead of mine. I fell into a trap. And I won't even say it's a trap. I fell into old behaviors, I will say. And so, yeah, there was definitely room for more s sweetness that I could have been giving to myself.
Right. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. I'm just writing this down. All right. So we're just going to gently start tapping. And we traditionally start on the side of the hand. So you could use 2 fingers or 3 fingers, and you can tap along with me. And
Should I
in
have my
order,
eyes open to watch you?
what?
Should I have my eyes open to watch you
Oh,
or
yeah.
okay.
Um, are you familiar with the points? I
I
can go
am
through
a
them
little
again.
bit, but
All right. When you're ready, just gently flutter your eyes open and repeat after me. So we'll gently start tapping on the side of the hand.
does
And it
it
doesn't matter
matter?
which side. I'll just
Okay.
run through the points really quickly. So we start
And
on the
actually,
side of the
before
hand.
you jump in, for my listeners, if you didn't know, we are on YouTube at Michelle Fox Love. And of course, we'll give you the link to Michele Santo's YouTube page as well in the show notes. But if you want to look at these points, which wink, wink, I strongly encourage you do, head on over so you can do this with us. Even better. Okay, Michelle, I'm all yours.
Okay. We're going to start on the side of the hand. I'll just run through the points. And it's kind of like you're tapping someone on the shoulder, not too hard, not too soft. And then you move to the eyebrow point here, right where the hair starts. Then you go to the side of the eye, kind of where the temples are. Then you move down under the eye, kind of high on the cheekbones there. Then you move so under the nose, that little divot under the nose, right here. You go like this, give yourself a mustache, whatever.
It also helps to remind me to breathe. I'm like, why am I holding my breath. I feel a little nervous. So maybe this is going
Oh,
to help me relax.
and then the chin point's not on the chin. It's that little cleft below your lip.
Mm.
Go like that, like this.
Oh,
Or it doesn't matter. I just give
okay.
people options.
Okay. Love it.
Then below that, even though your collarbone point is here, it's about
Mhm.
2 to 3 inches below. So I tap in circles. If you're on the phone, you can tap with one hand. And then below that, excuse me, under my armpit. So your armpit is here, but it's a hand width below, like where your bra line is for ladies,
Mm.
like right there. And you could give yourself a hug and do both sides if you want. It's up to
Mm.
you. And then the top of the head, can't get it wrong. It's literally the top of the head as well as the sides of the head and even the back of the head. So you just did one round of tapping.
Ah.
All right, so now we'll add in the words. So this, it's really good to go as slow as you can, tap slow and talk slow so that you get like a bigger emotional response and then you can clear it faster.
Mm.
You ready? Or do you have any questions?
When you say emotional response, do you mean anger, frustration, like any of those emotions I might be feeling around the sugar that I just mentioned?
Yeah, allow yourself to feel annoyed, like frustrated, wanting it, longing it, like just tasting it, but it's not there. Allow yourself to go there because when we tap on these points, we're actually sending a calming signal to the amygdala and the brain. It's just like this almond shaped part of your brain that's responsible for fight or flight. And I'm amazed that it works every time. I'm like, is this for real?
Mm. Oh, I'm excited. All right.
All right, so we'll start on the side of the hand. And if anything I say doesn't match your story, just feel free to change the words, okay?
Okay.
All right, we'll start on the side of the hand and we say, even though I'm craving this cookie,
Even though I'm craving this cookie
and it might give me a sugar coma,
and it might give me a sugar coma,
I'm just honoring how I feel.
I'm just honoring how I feel.
Okay. Even though I really want this cookie
Even though I really want this cookie
and I'm not sure if I should go for it,
and I'm not sure if I should go for it.
I'm open to loving and accepting myself.
I'm open to loving and accepting myself.
Even though I probably shouldn't eat this cookie,
Even though I probably shouldn't eat this cookie,
but I want it.
but I want it.
Sometimes it's okay.
Sometimes it's okay.
All right, tapping on the eyebrow point. My child came home with these delicious cookies,
My child came home with these delicious cookies,
and now it's all I could think about.
and now it's all I can think about.
Tapping on the side of the eye. Should I eat it?
Should I eat it?
I really want it,
I really want it,
but I know how it's going to make me feel.
but I know how it's going to make me feel.
Okay, tapping under the eyes. Every time I have sugar,
Every time I have sugar,
it makes me feel like just fill in the blank, like a few symptoms that you get.
gives me hot flashes and it makes me feel bloated.
Mm. And that doesn't feel good in my body.
And that doesn't feel good in my body.
All right. You can put a hand on your heart for compassion and tapping under the nose. But I still want the cookie anyway.
But I still want the cookie anyway,
And I deserve to have fun
and I deserve to have fun
because I work really hard.
because I work really hard.
All right, keeping the hand on the heart, tapping on the chin point. Let's just take a gentle breath in just to clear the nervous system. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Oh, I have a dilemma.
Oh, I have a dilemma.
To eat or not eat this cookie.
To eat or not eat this cookie.
I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do.
So I'm going to drop into my body
So I'm going to drop into my body
and just check in.
and just check in.
Okay. Tapping on the collarbone point and just gently close your eyes and just ask your body what it wants. And you can repeat after me and say, do you mind if I have a nibble of this cookie?
Do you mind if I have a nibble of this cookie?
And just notice what kind of reaction you get. Usually, if you feel free and light and excited, to me, that's an indication of a yes. If you feel confused, unsure, or like a tightness in the body, that to me is an indication of a no. So let's just ask the question one more time and say, do you mind if I have a nibble of this cookie?
Do you mind if I have a nibble of this cookie?
And just tell me what you notice.
Oh, immediate constriction down in
Okay,
my pelvic area.
good. That's amazing that you even noticed that. I'm proud to hear you say that.
Mhm.
Okay, tapping under the arm and say, thank you, body.
Thank you, body.
Thank you for letting me know.
Thank you for letting me know.
And instead of eating that cookie,
And instead of eating that cookie,
maybe we can have something else.
maybe we can have something else.
All right, tap on the top of your head and just check in with your body. What would you rather have?
What would you rather have?
Just no judgment, see what comes up.
Immediately, it showed me the rotisserie chicken in the back of the the kitchen at the resort.
Always end with a thank you. I like to have that communication strong. So tapping on the eyebrow point and say, thank you for letting me know.
Thank you for letting me know.
Thank you for letting me know what you really want.
Thank you for letting me know what you really want.
And you're welcome to have the chicken.
And you're welcome to have the chicken.
All right, tap on the outside of the eye and say, I know you have a lot on your plate.
I know you have a lot on your plate,
And I know it's very stressful.
and I know it's very stressful.
And I want to check in and see if any sweetness is missing.
And I want to check in to see if any sweetness is missing.
All right, you can tap under the eye and just see what comes up. I know you talked about it before, but just check in again. It could be anything that brings you joy that you maybe haven't done in a while. What are you noticing?
So first image was a big bowl of the yummy soup I made last night. So I'll have that when we finish this conversation. And the second image was walking with my dog because it's nice and sunny here in Denver today. So
Oh,
that would bring me a lot of joy.
okay. Put the hand on the heart, tapping under the nose, and say, that was really clear.
That was really clear.
I'm craving a big bowl of delicious soup
I'm craving a big bowl of delicious soup
and some time with my dog in the sun.
and some time with my dog in the sun.
And I want the same thing as you.
And I want the same thing as you.
All right, tapping on the chin point, keeping the hand on the heart, and say, I honor the confused parts of myself
I honor the confused parts of myself
that thought they knew what I wanted.
that thought they knew what I wanted.
And I have no judgment
And I have no judgment
because I am human.
because I am human.
All right, tapping on the collarbone point and say, it's safe to indulge whenever you want,
It's safe to indulge whenever you want.
but right now I know what I'm choosing.
But right now, I know what I'm choosing.
And it's going to feel so good
And it's going to feel so good
to give my body what it wants.
to give my body what it wants.
Okay, tapping under the arm and say, you are beautiful as you are.
You are beautiful as you are.
And I love and accept all of you.
And I love and accept all of you.
And the next time I have a craving,
And the next time I have a craving,
I'll know what to do.
I'll know what to do.
All right, tap on your wrist. You can tap your wrists together. There's another point there. And say, bringing in peace,
Bringing in peace,
love,
love,
and acceptance.
and acceptance.
All right, gently stop tapping and close your eyes if it feels safe, not driving. And just take a gentle breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And we'll revisit the marker again. And I want you to notice how stressful it feels to have that sugar craving on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst.
Yeah, it feels somewhere between 3 and 4.
All right, beautiful. You
Yeah.
just lowered the stress around that craving by 4 points in half.
Mm.
And I don't know how long that took, but maybe 20 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm not sure.
And I do feel more in control now. I sincerely am craving that bowl of soup and the walk in the sun with Chloe dog. So
Mm,
feels very embodied. So thank you, Michelle. That was
so
amazing.
welcome. Thank you for trying it and being open.
Mm. Yeah. So two more questions. So wow, I am feeling absolutely relaxed. Let's see how I can bring us to a close with this conversation. Before I let you go, I want to ask, as far as like you had me here, 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 like, do I need to do the tapping in a certain motion for it to be effective? Or is it the
Not really.
words that are more important?
It's both.
Both.
I feel
Okay.
like it's part like it's positive psychology, right? We're going from the truth of how we feel to the positive, like what are the possibilities here? And then the tapping, it's really based on acupuncture. So
Mm.
instead of putting the needles in these areas, we're still activating the meridian centers, but it's a non-invasive way of getting the energy to flow in the right direction.
Mm.
Yeah, and you're literally, I forgot to say this, Michelle, it's part neuroscience. So when you're
Mm.
trying to change a behavior or like upgrade your beliefs when you're growing, you're literally rewiring new neural pathways in the brain. It's amazing. I mean, it's so simple, and I'll the first to admit it looks funny. I avoided it for 10 years. I was like, I'm not doing that. But then it came around and I was ready for it. So
Yeah,
it really
good
is
point.
the
It's hard to.
marriage.
Oh, go ahead.
I think I explained it. I think I'm okay.
Okay. I was just gonna say, I do feel like I would feel funny doing this at a restaurant when like the whole table's eating cheesecake and I don't want that cheesecake. So I think you also had mentioned there's some things we can do where people don't quite know what we're doing. I think you said something about tapping our fingers.
Right. There's other points, there's meridian points on the hand. So it's the top of the nails. The only one that's odd is the ring finger. It's the bottom for whatever. I think because in between the ring finger and the pinky is what's called the gamut point. I
Mm.
find it extremely sensitive. I don't like tapping here. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. So
Mm.
anyway,
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah, I'm with you.
tapping here, 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 and then here. The wrist, there's like a weird bone
I
that you
love
can look
that.
at if you want.
And so my friends who are sitting at a boardroom table where they have food that you don't want, but you kind of do want, I can absolutely see you doing this tapping with your hands underneath the table. Or if you're at a restaurant, I can see you doing like a silent affirmations and tapping under the table. How powerful. And so I know people are going to be rewinding this section so they can continue to practice this on their own. Do you have other resources people can look to perhaps embody this practice even more?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I have a blog with a lot of tapping resources on there. I also have some videos on YouTube. But if you really want to learn the way to calm yourself in public without anyone knowing, like tapping on the finger points, I do have a video. It's my free gift on my website. So if you just go to michelesanto.com, you'll find it there. And it's just a wonderful tool that once you learn the points, you can melt the stress and anxiety no matter who's around you, and nobody's going to know what you're up to. It's very powerful to, have that sovereignty to feel
Mm.
calmer within your own body, like literally within like 10 minutes.
Yes, I am a living testament right now. I'm like, oh, I just feel like I'm relaxed and in control. Like I am feeling really good, Michele Santo. Thank you.
I'm so happy for you.
Mm. All right. Well, we will put all of your links in the show notes. Is there anything else you want to add before we go?
I just want to remind everybody that no matter how awful the experiences that you've had in the past, it doesn't define your future. And you could use EFT to become, the person you want to be. It's really helped me believe in myself. And I've tried everything, Michelle. I'm a seeker, I'm a learner, and this has really helped me break through in a lot of areas. And I hope that your audience can find value in it too.
This has been an absolutely wonderful gift you have given to us. Thank you so much, Michele. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to Nourish. Have you been driving, doing laundry, or walking around the neighborhood? Sweet. I've got show notes for you. Hop on over to michellefox.com/podcast when you are ready. I will let you know that on the page you will find resources to support what you just learned on today's show. And then, of course, you can grab some health supportive freebies as well. If you enjoyed this episode, I would be honored if you would leave a review on whichever podcast platform you are listening on. It will help me with my mission to build healthier communities, one person at a time, and it will help you because you will be part of that mission. I'll be back next week, and I encourage you to keep showing up for yourself and know that you and your health matter. Big love.